If you love hazelnuts and chocolate, these hazelnut marzipan bonbons are an absolute treat. So we start with a cup of raw hazelnuts, and these still have their skins on, which are not very pleasant to eat. They are quite bitter, so we need to get rid of those. We're also going to toast the hazelnuts. But first, removing the skins, I've got a pot of water that's coming to a boil, and I've got a cat on the countertop who really wants to help. This is Donica, and she's very smart, likes to get in everything. I'm adding 3 tablespoons of baking powder and watch it fizz. Ooh, that's so satisfying. Anyway, yeah, don't fill the pot too full or it will fizz over. So the baking soda, it's not going to make the hazelnuts taste like anything. It's just going to really help the skins come off. So once you've added the baking soda to the boiling water, dump in the hazelnuts, and we're going to cook these for about 5 minutes, stirring occasionally, just to make sure that it doesn't boil over or that anything sticks. And meanwhile, look at your cat, who is very watchful. All right, drain that and look at how gross and brown all that water is. Aren't you glad that that is not in your hazelnuts? I sure am. Anyway, I'm rinsing them in cold water here. And as you can see, some of the skins are already just coming off on their own. That's how loose they are. But I'm going to demonstrate here. If I can get my hands in the camera properly. Okay, here it goes. This is actually one of the more difficult ones that I peeled, but see, it pops off pretty easily. It's best to do this with some water or with some running water. It makes the task a lot easier. This is honestly the most annoying and time-consuming part of this candy making process. It's like if you can buy pre-roasted hazelnuts, but it's going to be more expensive. Give them another rinse just to make sure they don't taste like baking soda, and Donica watches on to make sure I'm doing it correctly. Then I dump them onto a cookie sheet and I roast them in the oven. Check the video description for exact temperatures and times, but it takes about 15 minutes to roast these. And at the 10-minute mark, you want to take them out and check them and make sure that they're not sticking. As you see, these are sticking, so I'm just loosening them up with a spoon. So this is the 10-minute mark, and they're already pretty toasty. I'm going to take them a bit further, but really watch them like every minute after the 10-minute mark, just to make sure that you don't burn them. Err on the side of less brown and less toasted than more. And once they have finished toasting, they should have this like lighter clinking noise. Don't know how well the camera picked that up. Anyway, once your hazelnuts have cooled, I am pulsing 3/8 of a cup of granulated sugar. If you live in the UK, I can just buy castor sugar. Go ahead and use castor sugar. It wouldn't be 3/8 of a cup either, would it? It would be something like 100 grams or something. I don't know. Anyway, pulse the sugar to turn it into castor sugar and then add your toasted hazelnuts. And then I'm just going to pulse this and grind it. It doesn't take very long, really. We're not making hazelnut butter. You're just grinding it until it resembles a fine wet sand. And the granulated sugar will also help this process a little bit. But what you're looking for is like you might be able to see this. It's starting to sort of clump a little bit in places. Like that's good. You want it to be clumping a little bit in places. But yeah, just don't take it so far that it starts turning into hazelnut butter. I like to stop when it's, like a nice wet sand. And I mean, your personal preferences may vary. If you like it smoother, puree it smoother. Anyway, I've transferred it to a large glass bowl. And to that, I'm going to add an egg. Now, if you're scared of raw eggs, like I live in states with pretty good regulations, so I just put raw egg in. I've never gotten sick from eating raw eggs, but if you're scared, by all means, use pasteurized eggs. They exist. They are a thing, and they are absolutely safe to eat raw. I'm just stirring that in with a nice big sturdy spoon. And then I'm going to add my secret ingredient, hazelnut extract. I mispronounced that. Hazelnut extract. Enunciate. Anyway, I'm adding, I think, about a half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of the stuff. This stuff is great. Unlike almond extract, which tastes medicinal and gross, hazelnut extract actually tastes like hazelnuts. Now I'm adding about 2 tablespoons of almond meal. Like almonds are usually what marzipan is traditionally made of. And you can do this with any nut, incidentally. Like if you want to make pistachio marzipan, which I've done before, you can use this recipe and then instead of hazelnut extract, use rose water, and it's delicious. Now we're adding the powdered sugar to turn it more into a Play-Doh consistency that will be a lot easier to roll, and it'll be sweeter too. That was a cup. of powdered sugar. The whole recipe calls for 1 cup plus 1/4 cup of powdered sugar, and it is best mixed with your hands once you get to a certain point. Clean hands, I would hope. And yeah, I add 1 cup of powdered sugar first, and then I check the consistency to see if it needs more. So you want it to be like Play Doh. It should be like a tiny bit tacky and sticky, but not like sticking to your hand sticky, which this was. So I added another 1/4 cup of powdered sugar, and that wound up being just right. As you can see, it's holding its shape nicely. It really is behaving like Play-Doh. And it's sticking to my hands, but not terribly sticking to my hands. My hands are mostly clean at this point. That's how you know it's the right consistency. So at this point, you can roll it out and, form it into shapes or put it on top of a cake like you would fondant. Much tastier than fondant, but I am rolling it into little balls. And if you want these balls to all be the same size, you can weigh them or you can use like a scooper or something, but I don't really care. I just pick off whatever I think is a good amount and I roll it into balls. I'm putting them on this little cutting board because I'm going to lay them flat on the cutting board in the fridge for a couple hours before putting them in a sealed container overnight. So here they are. I got about 18 balls out of this recipe. Your mileage will vary depending on how big or small you roll them. And now let's have an interlude of kitties. Okay, next day, I have about a package, so like 12 ounces of dark chocolate chips on a double boiler. So that's basically just a pot, the same one that I used yesterday to blanch the hazelnuts. And I'm adding just a squeezer, just like a 1/4 teaspoon to a 1/2 teaspoon of vegetable oil to the chocolate chips. That's going to help them be like make a thinner coat on the candies. If you don't add that, the coat can get like really thick and unpleasant. So I'm just melting that over some barely simmering water until it gets nice and smooth and beautiful looking like this. And you can do this in the microwave, but it is nicer this way because the chocolate stays like nice and hot and melted and you don't have to keep like popping it back into the microwave. So you drop it in, coat it. I like to use a fork to drain off the excess and then I very sloppily put it onto some parchment. I am topping these. This is optional. I'm using these decorative little golden pearls. They're edible sugar. I'm mostly just doing this so I can tell the difference between these bonbons and my coconut balls. My famous coconut balls, like this channel's claim to semi-fame. If you haven't seen that video already, go watch it. But yeah, I made a batch of those as well, and I just wanted to be able to tell the difference between them. So I added the little golden balls on top of these, just so I know that these are the marzipans. And yeah, that's all there is to it. You coat them and put them on the parchment until they've dried completely. And here they are, along with the coconut balls that I also covered in the same go. And once they've cooled completely, store them in a covered container in the fridge. And I am trying it for the first time now, and it is so good. Really make these. I think they're going to be a new tradition.